Vibrations of love. And some say love is a verb. But much deeper than that, love is a vibration. It is that energy that stirs the soul and opens up the heart. Vibrations of love call out to the divine that connects us with the beauty of life and the oneness of it all. I need not to say it with words, although it is always nice to hear. But greater still is to feel it. Vibrations of love lift me higher, and I fill the empty spaces within the soul. It is the divine in its purest essence. It is me at the height of my being. I am vibrations of love.
Go, I release, and I know I forgive, I receive, I can feel, I believe, I am healed. To push, no need to try, no need to worry or question
Thousands of years ago, the Buddha taught you are what you think.
I am love. I am peace.
I am joy.
I am silly.
I am powerful.
So a modern philosopher coined the phrase that you are what you eat.
I am organic vanilla ice cream.
I'm chia seeds.
I'm a good, strong cup of coffee in the morning.
I am mac and cheese.
Today, like millions of my human sisters and brothers on planet Earth,
I'm becoming mindful about what I eat, what I think.
But lately, I've been thinking about this.
I watch what I eat, but do I watch what I watch?
What about what I feed my mind, my heart, and my soul?
At Conscious Good, we believe you are what you watch.
you are what you watch.
Anytime you watch something that causes your soul to hurt, there's an impact.
So what's the answer?
At Conscious Good,
We think it's about feeding our minds.
The same way that we feed our bodies.
With nourishing choices.
After all, if media can have a negative influence on behavior, it can also have a positive one.
It's been proven that if we watch TV shows and videos about people helping others,
Cooperating and being generous.
It can actually influence us to be more altruistic and kind to one another.
Talk about paying it forward.
So next time you sit down to watch your comfort movie,
Consider how you will feel afterwards. Will you be happy and energized?
that's because maybe, just maybe,
What you watch.
Read
And listen to.
Matters.
I am what I watch. So I watch what I watch.
I am nourished.
I am inspired.
I am enlightened.
I am a celebration.
I am conscious.
I am conscious.
I am conscious.
I am good.
I am good.
I am good.
We.
We.
We
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are conscious good.
Everyone wishes to live their best life. We experiment with various ways to achieve that, whether it is through study, competing, finding a partner, working hard, or admiring someone who inspires you. It is the quality of our inner being that does it all, or grapples with fulfilling life's calling. For the past 20 years, the Brahma Kumaris in Washington, D.C. has been a space for any and everyone to enter into and experience one's soul calling. From 1997, the center opened in an old rickety house on Georgia Avenue in Silver Spring, Maryland, where cars and trucks that passed by would shake the space. But when you were inside, it was a peaceful and powerful sanctuary for all who visited. Since then, over 2,500 events, 17 city and nationwide initiatives, 21 awards, 2 meditation museums have served youths, senior citizens, entrepreneurs, scientists, authors, women, interfaith, the disabled, environment, small businesses, arts seekers, and even leaders. Millions of lives have been served, either through social media, the popular America Meditating radio show, or through exhibitions, lectures, partnerships, and programs held in the meditation museums and centers. We look at 20 years of service as a continued journey of love, courage, wisdom, and determination with friends from diverse backgrounds and thought, who believe a better world is possible when we make ourselves better human beings. Meditation is an important tool that helps us to gain greater clarity, insights, and inner power so we can make healthy choices and amplify our capacity to live a full life. In times of great anxiety, insecurity, and fear, meditation is an essential practice for everyone to gain stability and inner strength. Just look at what a few dedicated, purposeful, and kind group of committed people have been able to achieve in 20 years. Thanks to everyone who have supported us along the way. And thanks in advance to those who believe in our work and power of intent. Brahma Kumaris Meditation Museums, where peace is inside.
It's Karen Drucker coming to you from San Francisco, California, and I am here to say that I love watching The Next Normal with Sister Jenna. I get transformed, I am inspired, it's deep, it's wise, it's wonderful, just like her. I hope you're watching it too.
Your next normal, everyone. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Good evening. Well, I want to get right into it. Tonight's topic is a big one. I was sharing with Santosh, oh wow, I think I could sit in a couch by the fireplace and just talk about this for hours. Not that I'm going to be talking at you, but this is a big one. The courage to be yourself. It's going to be a lifelong process. Let me just tell you that. It's not like one day you're just going to wake up and go, this is me, figure me out, take it or leave it. It's a lifelong journey. You're going to be yourself in whatever way that is supposed to be. When you get to your final destination, you kind of actually know who you're supposed to be. We're gonna get glimpses. We'll see ourselves in a little bit of ways. We'll get signals. We will get comfortable with a part of us that we think is us. Then an event or maybe something tragic will occur, or maybe you'll fall in love and everything inside of you changes. And everything that you thought you were becomes different. If I were to get a $5 bill for every person that's come to me with a broken heart and told me this one mantra, they've said, Sister Jenna, I was doing so fine on my own until he or she came along. And that meant you were in a rhythm, and then the energy of the other person changed you. And you're not the same, and now you're in need of this energy of this person, or you feel like you've lost a very big part of yourself. And sometimes what happens is that we forget that it was a part of our growth too. It was a part of our shaping ourselves. I spoke to a friend of mine today who has been struggling with letting go of the past from 2007. And one of the most trying experiences is when you are on the path of spirituality and you're aware of the answer. You are aware of the answer and you're stuck. And you're stuck that even though you know the answer, you're still looking for the experience to unstuck you. And we talked for such a while today. I had to be firm. And I get like that when I know I have to I have to put a really strong injection in you, because you're just like, well, you know, this happened, and, you know, well, I was really like, stop it. You know, like I have to go in there and do one of those on him today. And I mean, I literally told him, don't waste my time, just like that. Very, very firm today. I said, don't waste my time. Don't call and complain about the same thing over and over again. I don't have time for it. What I want to know is, are you willing to let this go? You know, so that's how I had to talk to him. And it was like, to really get in. But my intentions were, I want to shift his thought energy where he is. And he's going to need that courage, the courage to see himself for what it is. And tonight's topic is about that. The courage to be myself. The courage, I'll slow down a little, to be myself. What are you without the partner? What are you without the children? What are you? Look inside. Would you think the way that you're thinking? Would you do the things that you're doing? And are you comfortable with where you are? Have you ever felt this deep internal pull to change? And you wake up every day with the desire to change. And then you bump into the same people, the same routine, the same vibrations in your walls, and you forget how deeply you wanted to change. And you know change is always going to be just a thought away. You know it. But the spouse comes in, the lover comes in, the child comes in, the mother-in-law comes in, the friend comes in, the neighbor comes in, whatever. The news comes in, the job, the colleague at work, and it distracts you, it takes you away from the commitment to the change that you were feeling inside, because in your moment of silence and a moment of knowing what your spirit needs will be birth and experience. When silence meets wisdom, there's an experience. Write that one down. When silence connects to wisdom or to knowledge, you will gain an experience. So let's say, for example, that you're sipping a cup of tea. You're looking through the window. Perhaps you're cooking. Your thoughts are swirling around in your consciousness. And there's something inside of you that is saying, I want to fly. I wish to soar. I wish to feel the capacity that is in me. Or maybe you might be thinking, I want to do that. But you don't do it because you have to get permission from your husband or your wife or the kids. But let's say you even look at something on TV or in social media and you go, God, that looks good. Don't be fooled. You scroll through all those little posts on social media and look at all those happy faces and you think you're not happy. Don't think they're like that every day, 24/7. So please use your discernment. It's a process. It's just 5 or 10 seconds. Can you imagine somebody posts something for 5 or 10 seconds and you go through 100 posts of people posting something only for 5 to 10 seconds? And it's just of a moment. Whether they're dancing, they're singing, they're cooking, they're looking in the camera, they're talking, and you're like, yeah. And you scroll from one post to another, to another, to another, and that's all that you're being brainwashed to see, and you've stopped thinking about what you need. You've stopped looking at you, and now you're looking at everyone else, thinking that you're supposed to be what those 5 or 10 second posts are telling you to be. and you're losing sight of your greatest power, your ability to take your thoughts back and do what you need to do. So there are those moments that you must have felt, especially during the pandemic. It was beyond your consciousness. It's a thought like it's taking you on a path. It's trying to take you on another path, but you keep coming back to this one because it's what you know. And the other path kind of makes you scared, you know? And you're like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if it's possible. So then you come back to where you think it's safe. And you carry that feeling inside of you, that thought. It's like saying to you, just do that. Let that go. Go here. Say it like this. Think like this. And you're like, yeah, I'll get to it. The courage to look at yourself, what your deepest, deepest needs are. I've interviewed so many people over the years on America Meditating Radio. And there are some interviews that have always stood out for me. There was an author who authored a book about basically the last few wishes of people before they died. And would you believe, out of the 30,000 people that she researched, all of those people said, I wish I had lived the life I wanted to. That was one. Second thing was, I wish I had loved more. Can you imagine? You're on your deathbed, and the thought that plagues your consciousness, I wish I lived the life I wanted to, and I wish I had loved more. I want us to continue with that track for tonight's conversation. Because the courage to be yourself is to begin to catch those thoughts that will serve the person that you know that you're supposed to be, and what that is supposed to do. I was mentioning to you the movie Mulan and how there was a part in it where she was dressed up as a man to fight in this Chinese army, and the witch that encountered her on the battlefield says, you're not powerful because you're not being true to yourself. Basically, the witch was telling her, you don't have any power if you are lying to yourself. And I'm asking you to put a bookmark right here to everyone outside there, everyone watching today. Put a bookmark right here. How many of you are living a life that is really for someone else? And I'm not talking about necessarily just spouses and kids, okay? You've birthed children. You have to guide them. You have to take care of them. You're in a marriage. You have to decide that you have to give to this marriage the best of you, not what he or she wants, but the best of you. And what gets missed in marriages and raising children with in-laws is that we don't live the true reality of how we really want to be with that person. Either the person is so mean in the house and you feel you have to be so peaceful, right? So you can be in a house where one person or maybe two people are really not Om Shanti. And you've been watching The Next Normal long enough and Spiritual Vaccine long enough that you're like going, well, sister said, you know, I have to be Om Shanti, so let me just be peaceful as she yells or as he yells and just be Om Shanti. But in the back of your mind, you're cursing them. In the back of your mind, you're so hurt at the way that they talk to you and at you as if they don't value you. And in the back of your mind, maybe you want to pick up a pot and throw it at them. I don't know. Right? So, at that very moment, with that encounter, because you're not honest about the feelings and what you're going through, even though you're trying your best, there's no power in your love at that time. You're trying to be Shanti. You're doing the best that you can to put that forward. But in the back of your mind, there's that thought, I despise this person. So the energy that they're picking up is not your Shanti that you're trying to give through your smiling face or your eyes, but the energy that that person is picking up is your despise for them or your anger. So when we say to cultivate or develop the courage to be oneself, you know the virtue that we use all the time. What if I can be truthful? Like, for example, sometimes if my past and my future, they're pulling a tug of war and my present just feels so uncertain, right? You'll get a little frustrated. And if things around you aren't flowing well, then you get even more frustrated. So what happens is that instead of reacting to who you think you should be to the person, then you take some time and you pull back to get your heart clean first and foremost. And once you get your heart clean and there are no waste thoughts about yourself or about anyone else, then you have that conversation. And the reason why that process requires courage, but it's really a powerful form, whether the person accepts your narrative or not, you will. You will. Your mind will feel at peace because you've done it the right way. Your heart will have the fire of courage to settle in that place of being the real you, despite whatever the situation, the event, or the relationship is trying to pull from you. You see, sometimes we're just afraid of being found out. Sometimes we get afraid of being seen that we're not strong enough. Sometimes we're afraid of revealing we have really bad thoughts. Sometimes we get afraid, definitely because of the opinion of others. I told you the story yesterday. Someone who chimes in sometimes on my classes, she's known me for 35 years or something, 30 years, and she saw a post and she was kind of teasing me about me. And I totally just was very, very clear with her, and I said, look, I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but yes, I am celebrating me. And I can't tell you how long it has taken me to get to that place. So yes, I'm not about to let anyone make me think that I do this, I'm like this, they think this is me, and they know nothing about me. And I remembered sharing with her that I wouldn't stay so committed and consistent if my intentions weren't pure. Watch people who have mixed intentions. They'll start a project and drop it within less than a month. It's not to say that it's bad, but it's that the real purity of the intention cannot sustain what they've created. But when your inner being has that purity of intent, you will sustain what you create. And that's why I always recommend that you're mindful with all the things that you start, because you're aware that once you start it, it's going to go for a while, especially if you're a genuine and sincere person. Nobody expected the America Meditating Radio Show to last for almost 8 years. Did you expect it, Santosh? Well, we weren't even thinking about it, right? We didn't think about it. 8 years. And I think we might be the only center in the Brahma Kumaris that's doing evening programs every night live. I believe so. Every night live for you and for us. So we stay alert and alive too. When you make choices like this, it requires courage, the rage of the heart, for the heart and the head to become one. And once the heart and the head becomes one, God appears, Baba shows up, and you can honestly say, this is me. That quality that comes through, that unified head and heart. You know, that quality of power and peace and purity will come over you. It's a given. So I'm going to go back a little bit to when I was saying that you're feeling that signal in you. There's that part of you. It's got to be knocking on the door of your mind, telling you what to do and how to be. And because of the distractions, relationship, finance, health, and the way your personality has been shaped over a long period of time, you keep forgetting, but I want to change. And I want to change on my terms. I don't want to change from tragedy. And I can't wait for love to find me to change. I want to change. And the change is actually a huge part of the natural law of evolving. Once we get stuck into a specific way of being, it becomes so heavy. It's like the fear takes you over and you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do. It's just the same old day. What was that story? There's a show with Bill Murray. Come on everyone, you can remind me. Caddyshack? Is it Caddyshack? Where he would wake up every day and he would live the same day over and over again? Something like that. Anyway, so he would wake up every day and he lived his life where it was just like the same thing every day. But apparently something had happened where every day he woke up, things were different for him. Even though he would go back to bed and it would seem like it was the same day, but every day became different. And he really started to get used to that and he started to like that. That's the courage to be yourself, to keep being open to reinventing yourself. That's a big part of the transformation of the self, and just really finding that space to say, I can let go of this part of my personality and I can bring this to the surface. I know I can. Become really curious about the varied ways that you can grow by experimenting with new things. Sometimes you can start off with something physical, but it's really internal. But even if you have to try something physically new, and see sometimes how the resistance is there. When you have to do something new or break a pattern, the resistance comes. So what I'd like to do is to take you into a meditation now and just have you just dive into this particular moment as you contemplate some of the thoughts of wisdom that I've just shared.
Letting go of fear. There are many types of fear. The fear of the future, the fear of failure, the fear of others, the fear of sickness, the fear of death, the fear of difficulties, even the fear of my own self. How to overcome fear is usually through having understanding and trust, but especially realizing that everything that happens has a benefit. And so it's of no use to be afraid or even complain of the past or to overfocus on what's wrong, and just to live in the present moment with faith. Fear has two sisters, doubt and worry. Sometimes these three things are compared to dragons in the mind. Fear, doubt, and worry, when they are all together, bring me out of balance and I lose my sense. And I am overcome by negativity. I become even impulsive and start to act and think even irrationally. I have to let go of fear, because too much fear makes me imagine too many things. I need to talk to myself, because fear makes me waste a lot of energy. Let me talk to myself and realize that I must now become a student of life. Let me have a learning consciousness, and that everything that happens in life and into me has a hidden benefit. When there are crises in life, it is actually a time also for new opportunities. If I am able to step back and not identify with what's wrong, if I am able to keep myself calm and trusting inside, then I'm able to communicate with the situation. I'm able to communicate with my own thoughts and tell them, let's see, let's wait. Not to judge too quickly or too easily that something is negative, that something can't work. Everything can work. It needs its time, and it needs the cooperation of my faith, the cooperation of my confidence and trust. When we accept what we don't like, when we accept it, then we start to open to find solutions. Things don't become barriers anymore. People don't become my enemies. All are my friends. I don't have any enemies. And instead of walls, I start to build bridges. Every day, let me build a bridge. Every day, let me destroy a wall rather than making it higher and thicker. Let me stop that type of building and realize that when I reach the hearts of others, then they open. When I stop disliking, rejecting, and yes, even fearing others, I emerge a positivity within them, and they build a bridge towards me. Instead of fear, let me have faith. The power of faith enables me to have a vision of what's good, of what's possible. And when I have a vision that is an understanding of what is good, of what is possible, let me remain with that in my mind. Let me hold that positive vision. It doesn't matter if I do not understand how it will happen, when it will happen, can it happen. If I hold that positive vision within my mind, gradually it will start to materialize in my life. All things are possible to those who have this power of faith. And very easily faith cancels not only fear but doubt and worry. Let me live a moment at a time. Let me live in the present, not in the past, not in exaggeration, not in the opinion of others, not in what could be or should be or must be. Just let me live in respect of the moment.
Keep holding the moment of silence. And keep thinking about the wall you wish to break. Knowing that a gentle, organic change will take place. Each time I go inwards and pay attention to my thoughts and feelings, a change occurs. I encounter a part of me that I don't serve as much, and then I realize I need a little bit more courage to spend more time here. To be more the soul. The embodied being of light. So the courage needed to be oneself requires a lot of that internal attention and focus, because there's so many distractions. So it's when you're listening to those particular signals, I call them signals. They're like, have you ever watched a movie and you saw the foreshadowing as if you're going, oh, I guess so-and-so is going to come around the corner in the next scene. So when you get those signals, it's like it's trying to show you who you are. And whether it's an angel or a naughty person, it's still important for you to see it. And then when you see it, then you address it. You can't address what you can't see. And you will never become what you can't see. So when your own spirit, your own soul, is showing you who you are, showing you what you can be, but you don't see it because you're too busy externally looking at other people, expecting more from other people, wanting what other people have, all of those emotions that get so tied up in illusion or embodied consciousness. In the teachings of Raj Yoga meditation and with Baba, Baba basically says, turn inwards and see yourself. See you. In the Swahili culture in different parts of Africa, they don't say, I love you, but they'll say, I see you. I see you. So when you can actually see yourself, and you see what your strengths are, and you're also honest enough to know what your limits are, then you can find the courage to say, I need to be me. Because the you that you really need to be, oh gosh, the list is endless. The courage to be myself is the following, just some ideas, is to be able to sustain love that is pure, or you can call it unconditional. It is to sustain kindness. It is to sustain peace. It is to sustain your self-respect so that you're able to respect others all the time. It is to sustain balance, harmony, laughter, joy, all the things that are important. And when you actually have the courage, you will sustain that. To be yourself is to be those qualities that you need to have, that fire in your heart to say, I've got to keep this lit in me. I just must. So courage will always be required to stay true, because we're living in a world of illusion. We're living in what Hindus call the Iron Age, Kali Yuga, the age where 7.5 billion people are all influenced by algae. Anger, lust, greed, attachment, and ego. If you're joining in for the first time, welcome. It's an acronym that I use quite regularly. 7.5 billion people, every single one of these human beings, have the influence of algae in them. That's huge. And you're searching for the courage to be yourself. And so to be yourself has no influence of algae. Do you know how much courage that requires? A lot. Courage is something that's raged from your heart, which means your love has to be fierce. It has to be on fire. It has to burn that algae until everything just becomes so harmonized. So I want to offer you some points. 1, maybe tonight create a vision of what you envision is you, the real you, the courage that you have been, you know you have it in you, that person that's been coming up. It could be nothing like what you are right now, and that's okay. But look at that soul, look at that personality that maybe you've been repressing, depressing, really pushing back down. But just see if it matches the personality of an angel, the personality of a deity, the personality of the divine. Our real selves will always connect to that higher level. The other part of me that's mixed with truth and illusion will never connect to that level, always. It will touch it, but it won't have the courage to sustain it. So always check, are those thoughts that I'm getting connected to my angelic personality, my deity personality, godly personality, even a world benefactor personality, or not? And when you can sense that a part of your personality isn't connected to the angel or the deity, but it might be another personality that seems quite low in vibrations, you have to face it. When we apply the power to face even our lowest stage of existence, it requires courage. Because when there's courage, you will face what you've been running away from. And whenever we run away from that dark part inside of us, the lower vibration inside of us, the ignorant part in our personality, that running gets us into so much trouble. And we end up getting trapped and using so much of the soul's energy to try to get out of that situation. When all we had to do was listen and face it and look at what it really is and say, okay, so you are like that at this point. What do you need to do to change that? That's a person with courage. They will talk with truth because it knows it has to change itself. Let's take another breath and use this meditation of the power to face to see how we can use that particular power, one of the 8 powers, to go really inside of the soul and make the shift that we can make.
The power to face. I visualize myself full of power. A red energy rises from the center of my forehead and like a spiral covers me from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. And I feel more and more concentrated with this power. I prepare myself to face whatever comes in my path. I do it with assertiveness, with truth and royalty, not with aggressiveness, which takes me from emotion to weakness. I don't let fear act, nor am I moved from the armchair of comfortability. Instead, the need to face my own truth arises, whatever it may be, without postponing the silence that becomes the mirror of my imperfections, no matter what appears. Finally, I am the one who with courage prepares to struggle the inner battles and comes out victorious. Because with honesty I can overcome ego, the illusion of the temporary, the mistaken past, loneliness, the illusion of what gives me security but keeps me imprisoned, to the doubts about my own capacities, to all inner or external barriers, because finally I recognize that what's in the way is the way. It does not matter how many roads I must pass through and learn. God is with me. God has been, is, and always will be with me. Yes, this is the energy of the spiritual warrior. My weapons, determination, confidence, courage, and a clear purpose. I am my own victory. This is the power to face. Feel the power.
perfect meditation, wasn't it? Imagine applying the power that's already in you to make the change. The courage to be myself. Yes, it is a lifelong journey. Yes, you will keep reinventing yourself. Yes, situations will come to help to reinvent you. Yes, there's some parts of you or certain personalities in you that you're going to fall in love with. And yes, you don't want that part of you to change. But yes, sometimes you'll bump into a relationship that will change you. Have you ever found yourself saying, I don't like the person I'm becoming because of a relationship that you happen to be in? So that means you liked the person you were before you got caught up in that relationship. So yes, it's all going to change. And so the question is, am I courageous enough? Am I truthful enough? And will I be strong enough, powerful enough to not only embrace the changes that I will and must go through to become the person that I'm supposed to be in this incarnation, but to sustain that, even though I'm changing? We all will have a particular pattern or a particular routine in how our personality chooses to express itself. It's a given. We're going to do it whether we want to or not. You know, like how you'll go to astrologers and they'll say, oh, you're Pisces, so you're ultra spiritual. Or if you're Scorpio, then they'll say you're really a go-getter. You go for whatever you set your eyes on. So in a very interesting way, there is a particular kind of a template that you incarnate in. But it doesn't mean that you won't change and add some spice to it. Do you hear what I'm saying? So let's say that I have a lot of sense of humor. Just give you an example. And I can sit in a meeting and still find humor versus I can be at the White House and find humor. I could be sitting with the family and finding humor. It's just a template. Do I want to change it? I would change it if it's giving sorrow. I would change it if I begin to feel disingenuous or not authentic. I would change it if I feel like I've outgrown it. But you will always sense or find that little bit of that personality in that person. It just won't go completely. So it's almost as if you and I are born with a particular DNA of our personality. And that's going to be a fixed. You don't have to worry about changing this. But it's the way life revolves around that. And if you can nurture that deeper part of you, that deeper energy in you, the sanskaras that we call it, or the personality trait, and we nurture that with enough love and truthfulness and self-esteem, then the change of becoming who you're supposed to become, it's be fantastic. So when you really look at this whole notion of the courage to being yourself, isn't it such self-centered? Because if everybody does this, there will be world peace. The reason why there isn't world peace is that no one's taking care of themselves inside. Everyone is caught up in what other people are doing. Make my husband good. Make my wife a nice wife. Can't you talk to my teenage kid? My boss is like this. My manager's like this. Everybody knows about the lesser part of everybody else. But go inwards and ask, who am I? We don't know how to answer it. So the importance of meditation and reflection, the importance of paying attention to your everyday thinking and attitude and behavior is going to help you to not only be yourself, but to sustain the be that you're becoming. Remember, you're supposed to connect to being like an angel, a deity, godlike, or a world benefactor. If whatever you're changing into to be yourself isn't connected to those four, it's still a distraction. You'll feel a tug of war. You'll have moments where you feel strong and you're fine, and then you'll get into another moment of just feeling like you want to collapse. because the true you wants to shine. But if you haven't been serving that part of you, then you are going to get tired. You will feel the exhaustion, because remember, lies don't heal. And when you lie to yourself, you're not strong. You're not strong in character. You don't stand up for what you believe in. You don't stand firm. You don't, you know, you always sell yourself out. That's why in relationships, people will come and tell me, I was doing so good, Sister Jenna, before he came along, before she came along. Because something in the relationship had a mixture of love and attachment. And that attachment was breeding the lies in the relationship. Now, I'm not saying that anybody was lying to somebody, like, you slept out and you didn't tell me you were bad friends. Not that kind of a lie. But the kind of a lie where you're afraid to be the real you. That's a big lie. You're afraid to be the real you in that marriage, in that relationship, in that job, in that office. So you stand down and you just never come across as being really truthful. That you can be trusted. You don't show that to yourself. You don't show it to others. So when we awaken the courage in us to be ourselves, we discover that we really are like those angels and deities, and we're sacred, like God's vibrations, and we have the ability to be world servers. And we allow the rage of the heart, the fire in the heart, to sustain that, to sustain it for as long as we can. But to always remember, things are always going to keep changing in you. And that's all a part of becoming you. You'll only really be solid in terms of who you've turned out to be when you take your last breath. That's why sustaining and transforming and growing and reinventing yourself is an ongoing affair. So that's my little 2 bits for the night. Anyway, welcome to everybody on tonight. Portia, you're going to go for your surgery next week, so sending you lots of love. Ranju, nice to have you. Asmita, warm welcome. Indu, Wendy, Louise, Nagoshri, Abby, Praveen, thank you for telling everyone to press the like button. If everyone can go now and just press their like button on to the YouTube, it helps, I heard, to move the algorithms, and so to also share it with your friends and family as well. Yes, S. Watson, that movie was called Groundhog Day. You're right, not Caddyshack. I'd completely forgotten. So Mary, nice to have you from Iowa, I think. So good to have you. Denise Oliver, Brother Umesh, Om Shanti, Nancy O'Neill, Lilowity, nice to have you. Lots of blessings to Mary and her dad. That's also in the hospital. And I spoke to Lou today too, and he sounded pretty good and pretty solid. So lots of vibrations are going to him. Nita, Om Shanti, lovely to have you. Sending you lots of love and lots of light. To our little angel Shreya too. Lots of powerful feelings and pure vibrations your way. You're such a strong human being. You've got such power in you. And as much as you are powerful, also sometimes if you let yourself fall short and you forget that you do have those powers, then sometimes you just lose your peace or this or that over the fact that some people are the way that they are. But I just want to keep reminding you, you are such a good human being, and you're strong, and you're pure, and you are powerful. So just don't let that go for anything or anyone, not even kids. You know how mothers have to compromise a lot with children. Yes, V, Om Shanti, brother. How's everything going? I know I got your email about Congressman Raskin's son. It was quite sad that he transitioned on the 31st of December and in the way that he did. And we've been sending lots of love and good wishes to the Raskin family. It's devastating what they must be going through right now. Manakshi Ben, Om Shanti, Priya, Nikhil Kumar, Shobha, Bryn, lots of good wishes. Please hold Mary and her dad in the light. Yes, we are, Grace, so we'll do that. Carlene, also good wishes. Carlene, I think the Pause for Peace app, if you all haven't downloaded that app, I think it's back up. It's not yet? I know if you go in, it's buffering, right? So I think the company that does it, they're maybe working on it now because we have so much content on it. But please download the app, and then when it gets up and running, then you'll be able to get free meditations and classes. Beautiful. So Devyani, Om Shanti, thank you for sending good wishes to our sweet sister Portia. Chamara, Om Shanti, nice to have you, Chamara. How is our little puppy doing over there? What's his name again? Spartacus loved Happy. He just loved himself some Happy, I tell you. All right, Marissa, lovely to have you, and everybody on Facebook, big shout out to all of you. Kristen, nice to have you. Luchi, McKnight, Bas, Rupesh, Lal, Bobby, Shuhela, Yolanda, Anika, Jack, Kristen, Karen Palmer, so nice to have you, Karen. Om Shanti, long time. Arlene and everyone else. Leslie and Sudha, Catherine, Enid, and all of our friends out there. Thank you so much for joining us on The Next Normal this evening, and hope that something that was shared has kind of raised your vibrations a little bit higher, and you're feeling like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, I'm going for this, man. I'm going to make it. You know, so just to keep raising that energy up, and away. Here's Kristen Hoffman with love and gratitude. I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay positive. Keep your courage up. You can do it. Oh yeah, you can do it. You can do it. See you tomorrow.
our soul's deep mystery. There's nothing